Hello, beloved, and welcome to your message from the big God, God Thyself. I thank you so much for your time. I thank you for joining me, all right? I am Prophetic Vessel, and welcome to the Prophetic Vessel Show. All right, let's tap in. Let's find out, why were you spiritually led here? Why were you presented with this message by your own YouTube algorithm? And let's find out why the title resonated with you, beloved. What is here for you, okay? Let's tap in. So God has a question for you, beloved. Yeah, we have the identity card, as I said that. The question is, right? So this card is a card of the identity of the author of this deck, a picture of her and everything, her name and all that. So God is asking you, who would you identify as a serial lover energy in your world, in your reality? Who do you deem fit to stamp on that title of serial lover energy, right? Could be masculine or feminine, depending on what you're going through. Yeah, Seven of Swords, the card of tricks. Seven of Swords is the energy of tricks, the card of tricks. So every trick in the book, old, new, recent, right? Ooh, and then we have the Page of Cups, followed by the Hangman. So the energies present are Pisces and Gemini, but the form of Pisces here is in the page form, and the Hangman. The Page of Cups followed by the Hangman. The Page of Cups is that hopeless romantic type energy, someone that believes in fantasy more than reality, and someone that hangs on to that aspect of life, that fantasy, right? They hang on to fantasy, they dwell on fantasy, and they live in sort of like, it's an energy of someone that lives in a fantasy world. Followed by the Five of Swords, yeah, Aquarius. And I feel like someone, yeah, the Five of Swords, it's like the way in which they exist in this world, fantasy world. This masculine could be masculine or feminine energy here. This masculine or feminine energy exists in this fantasy world in such a way that it brings them closer to, they feel like it brings them closer to their God complex, right? The God within them. They feel like it brings them closer to God. But I feel like this person is going to be very deeply disappointed if they choose to progress their life with this mindset. No one lives in fantasy and ever really has that reality to base it on, because fantasy is fantasy and real life is based on real life shit, right? Fantasy is a derivative of our imaginative thoughts and our wishes, our desires, but nothing based on real life. You could link it to real life. You could base your fantasies off of your real life, but they could never really be that. It's just fantasy. It's delirium. It's short-lived, right? So God is saying you're dealing with an energy of an individual here who won't leave you alone. This is an energy of someone who feels like they need to have you. It's like, I need to get you. You mine already type energy. It's like a masculine, an example. God is wanting me to give an example about maybe an anointed woman who falls in the hands of the wrong man, who feeds off of her spirit until like she's sort of drained and depleted. And God is saying you can switch the roles. Could be an anointed man falling in the hands of a predatory woman who loves his energy, right? And just dwells in it and just sucks and dry of it, right? Same for the feminine, as we have explained in the beginning. It's sort of like that energy here. This masculine or feminine energy that you're dealing with, beloved, depending on the narrative of all your realities, because it varies for all of you. The common denominator is that you're dealing with someone here who is predatory and feels like you belong to them, right? I feel like this is a masculine that feels like they understand you, they have you on lock, or they sort of are on the verge of figuring you out on a very deep level, on a level that they can control you on, right? Whether this is true or not, beloved, we are reading on someone else's reality and perspective of you here. It's an energy showing up for you. You will live here. You tap in. This is a message you resonated with my title. It was presented by your own YouTube algorithm, okay? You tapped in for a reason. And you were channeling what you were channeling while you're watching this for a reason. It's coming to you as you're watching this, as it should, because that's what tarot is about. A new way of prophecy, man. Give it 20 years. It'll be like the music entertainment industry. Only healthier, brother, right? But anyway, I went on a little rant there. God is saying that was necessary. It's necessary sometimes, you know. So anyway, we have an energy here that you're dealing with. Someone is on some, you know, abracadabra shit. They feel like they can just abracadabra the fuck out of you and have you and sort of like escape into a new reality with you, right? Yeah, that's what this is. This is a masculine that wants to create a life with you. They want to make up life, like, as you guys go along, like back to fantasy world, fantasy island. I feel like this is a masculine that dwells in their mind and a feminine that dwells in their mind as well. It's sort of like, this is the type of person that they find passion and fuel in fantasy, in the unknown of the fantasy. Sort of like, it could be real, it could be not. But we'll never know until we tap in and find out, right? It's sort of like this is a masculine energy that feels like you embody divine femininity. This is a feminine energy that feels like you embody divine masculinity. And they feel like you're an alpha feminine, you're an alpha male, right? So they want to, I feel like this is someone that wishes to align themselves to that vibration, to please you, to appeal to you. But it shouldn't be about that, right? It never should be about that. It should be genuine. It should be real. You shouldn't be doing it to please me. You should do it because that's what you're about, right? But I feel like this is a masculine, this is a feminine that wants to please you or wrap you around their finger by doing exactly what you want them to do so that you trust them and, you know, you can easily fall for them in that way. But deep inside, they just yearning to have this leverage, this power over you. You know, they're yearning for that control over your life here. I feel like this is a masculine that wants to destroy your dignity, a feminine that wants to destroy your dignity here, and sort of like infringing your life with their own desires. Like someone throwing themselves at you, like, love me, you know. We have the devil, the high priestess, the two of swords here that are talking to me within this energy. Like, you know, love me and see me as this and do this for me and I want nobody else but you type energy. It's like, it's very possessive, territorial, and low vibrational too, all in one sort of circumstance here, right? And I feel like this is very deep as well, because this is a fantasy that this masculine or feminine energy that you're dealing with, they really pushing for the fulfillment of it. They want to see it become reality. This perspective that they have, this reality they live in, that they feel like they can make this possible. Like you can exist in their world and they can be your everything and you can be their everything, and it can all align and it can all be like this, you know what I'm saying? So whether that's true or not, clearly, as I said, fantasy here, right? So take that how it applies. Let's tap in further to this energy of this masculine and feminine that you're dealing with. So God is wanting me to speak about like how God is wanting me to ask out loud, how does this person view the collective, right? Which, that being you, beloved, how does this person view you? God wants you to know how they view you at this time. God feels that that is important. So let's tap into that. Yeah, their perception of you. As I said that, the Page of Swords and the Fool. So the Fool, I feel like they have a new perception. It's no longer what they used to see you as. They've changed their perception. It's no longer the same way, right? We have the Eight of Swords reversed. So they've had an evolved, sort of like an advanced perception of you now. Eight of Wands. I feel like it's a perception that, I feel like the way this person sees you is constant. It's constantly evolving, constantly growing. It's not a defined perspective or a defined perception they have of you. It's very fluid. Someone views you in a very fluid way, but they view all aspects of you. This is someone that views all aspects of you in this likeness, as if like, yeah, as I said, the King of Cups, the fluidity, but it's reversed. They feel like you are, and it's channeled on top of the Chariot, which is Cancer. So it's sort of like they feel like you are fluid as well. You are water. They have to treat you as water. Whether you are water sign or not, it's not about that. God is saying that's not relevant to it. It's basically how they view you. They like water, meaning the fluidity, the form of being able to free fall or having the capability to drown another. Yeah, this is a masculine or feminine energy that feels like you have the capability to drown them in your waters, in your depth. They feel like you are deep. You are sort of like an anointed soul, like someone that you can really tell like knows their business or knows what they're doing, an old soul. But nonetheless, it's a never-ending, constant cycle of perception that comes to them every time they think of you. Like, it's not, there's no one form of it, like, oh, this is how they see you at this time, and that's not. It's sort of like it's fluid, it changes. It gets deeper and deeper and deeper, like the waters, right? There's more depth to it, right? One moment, 1 second here while I sip on my sipping. I'm sipping on my sipping. So this masculine or feminine energy here is afraid of that though. Like, it almost seems like you're good at that. You're good at sort of shape-shifting into many layers of yourself, and they all require a lot of depth. That's what makes them intimidated. They feel like you are an in-depth person with a lot of knowledge. We have the Hermit, but it's reversed, followed by the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups upright. They feel like, you know, they're afraid of what you know, of the depth that you come with here, right? It scares them. We have the Hangman, the Queen of Cups, and the Devil. As I said that, it scares them. It scares them to death here. I feel like something is deep to this masculine or feminine energy. They feel like it's possible that you can get them at their most vulnerable and make them really lose their mind or break character or do something that they're usually not prone to do or known for. That's what they're afraid of. They feel like you can break them down like that, and they're not sure how they feel about that, because nobody wants to be seen. Like, people hide their true identity all the time. People take on different forms all the time. People shapeshift all the time. People wear masks all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like, it's real life shit. Like, we all live it. But I feel like it's to what degree does that go? Because I feel like this is a sort of masculine or feminine energy. God is wanting me to give an example, an analogy, a reference point here, a case study. Okay, God doesn't want me to give it anymore. Okay. God feels that you need to first kind of understand like your own power over this masculine first, over this feminine first, before we proceed further. Like, so that what I tell you is not for ego boost or to give you a big head. It's to make you understand what you're dealing with here, what's going on in your life. This ain't nothing but truth, right? It's factual, you know, hence you resonate, right? So God is wanting you to clear your perspective about this situation by giving you a sort of solidified, in-depth truth. So back to the example that God didn't want me to give, right? He held back on that, God thyself, the reference point, the case study, the analogy. It would be that it's from a movie. God wants me to give it, right? Now I can give it, as I said that. So it's of this movie. It's featuring Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp. They play this couple, right? But it's sort of it's called The Tourist. The movie is called The Tourist. So Johnny Depp in the film plays a masculine that is in love with Angelina Jolie, this feminine who in the movie the masculine Johnny Depp is being watched by the CIA, being looked for, being sort of like he's the most wanted man. And because Angelina Jolie, the feminine, is married to him in the film, right? The wife, the trophy wife, Angie, she can gain access, right? She can gain access to him. She can lead the CIA to him. So they were watching him so they can get to him. They were watching her so they can get to him, right? In the film, in the movie. And it got to a point where he had to get plastic surgery and exist in plain sight in the midst of her because he couldn't be without her. He knew that she was being watched, and what he did, he changed his identity, you know, to be in her life and sort of like plan a sweet escape, right? So God is saying that will be all for now from that analogy, that reference point, that case study, that example, right? So God is wanting me to reference Johnny Depp's love for the feminine in the film, in the movie. Like imagine a man changing his whole identity, including how he looks, his whole face, you know, to be with another feminine, like, you know what I'm saying? So God is saying switch the roles. It could have been the other way around. Angelina Jolie could have been the feminine that changed her identity for the masculine. You know, that sort of depth and extensiveness and, you know, that in-depth sort of way of being. I feel like you're dealing with someone that possesses those qualities, that depth, like to be able to go that extent or that extra mile, or to, it's really intense, it's in depth, and God is saying it's obviously not plastic surgery. God is wanting you to look at it in a spiritual way. Changing your identity could be, you know, it takes on different forms when it's spiritual, God is saying. So look at it in that form. So you have someone that is willing to change their form for you. They're willing to, I feel like this is a shapeshifter, chameleon energy that is willing to take on any form to suit, please you, or to have you here, right? Even if they're not in alignment with your vibration, because they want to have you, they're willing to play that role. Because they want to have you and they feel like you are that for them, they want to play that role. So you deal with the feminine and the masculine energy that is willing to break character, be vulnerable, go all the way deep, like in depth, tap into their layers for you, for this connection to be prosperous, the way they see it, the way they want it, right? The way they see it, right? They see it like that, right? So we're reading on another individual's perception here. This is someone else's energy. So take this how it resonates for you. You don't have to feel, God is saying you don't have to feel this exact same way for this person. It's just their energy towards you. You know, and energy is fluid. It doesn't have to be replicated or anything. It just has to be what it is, and this is what it is, right? So I feel that this is sort of like the energy of someone who feels like this person feels like you have them wrapped around your finger. They feel like you're the type of person they want to kind of drop it all for, because you make them feel like there's more to life. They're missing out on a lot. They feel like you can bring them forth into a different paradigm. Maybe because you're spiritual here, right? They feel like you know a lot more, despite who they could be in their reality, or what they could know, who they could be connected to. They feel like you offer something completely different, and something that they're desperate to experience for themselves in its in-depth form and way, in the aspect that they require it to be, right? This is a masculine and feminine energy that they have requirements. They're the type of masculine and feminine energy that requires things of you and of others too, right? Let's clear the energy here. Round 2, let's go one more round. Or, you know, we can go the third round. Let's just see what God, you know, says here, how things go. So if this resonates, take the like button, you guys, right? Give it a big thumbs up. Help improve and advance the cause, right? For prophetic vessel. Okay. Let's tap in though. Let's tap in further. Round 2 of this energy. Okay. So this is a masculine energy, a feminine energy that feels like they want to sort of have you to themselves, and they're willing to do what they need to do on their end for it, right? That's what their energy is really saying here. Yeah. Like whether you know this or not, you know, it's like a bargain for a bargain. Someone's willing to, you know, really do something and tap in with you here. I don't know if you want to though. That's what God is saying, you know, because, you know, the ball is in your court with regards to this, and the narrative varies for a lot of your realities. So God wants you to make wise choices and decisions surrounding this connection. Be wise, don't be dumb. Be wise, don't be dumb. Be wise, don't be dumb, right? Make wise choices and decisions so that what comes out of it doesn't bite you in the ass, right? Later on, right? So be smart, be clever, and actually understand what's going on here, how it impacts you, right? Let's go. So we have the Page of Cups showing up at the bottom of the deck. Remember when I said the Page of Cups is the hopeless romantic energy, and behind that we have the Tower and the Hermit. Again, like they sort of like, I feel like this is someone that wants to play the role, right? They might, but I feel like they might not possess these high vibrational qualities that you think they have, or they portray themselves to have them, but they don't. Like, I feel like this is a masculine and feminine energy that has yet to be divine or tap into divinity, right? They're too behind when it comes to things like that. Like, they're not spiritually inclined at all. I feel like they're the opposite. They believe in the opposite things. They create their own truth, right? They don't abide by it. They don't obey anything. This is a masculine or feminine energy that is rebellious and has an unruly spirit, you know, that will perish. Okay, it will perish. That's what God said. So, okay. bit further. Okay. We have the Hangman coming out again here, right? So the Hangman speaks of being hung up on a certain reality, on a certain perspective. We have the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. The Ace of Cups is the ultimate illusion, the ultimate delusion, the ultimate elusive state, right? We have the Empress here. So this is someone here, you're dealing with someone that is way below your vibration. But they want to play the role to be on that level. They wanna do what they need to do so that they can also be anointed, or they can also align, you know, with divinity. They can also tap into God, right? But I feel like this is someone that can be truly a screw up at times, because they only do things for benefits and advantage, tactics, power tools. They don't do things for the true form of it or the genuineness of it. And you know, to be divine, you have to be a genuine being. You have to be a good person. You know, you can't be divine and be a bad person. That makes you comic. That makes you nothing but a lesson to people. You can never be a blessing, right? So God is wanting you to watch out when it comes to that. Who is this person to you, this masculine or feminine? Do you see a curse or a blessing within this connection, within them? Using your foresight. God wants you to use your vision, right? The high priest, as I said that. High priest. There's both high priestess and high priest energy. So there's the high priest coming out here. We have the star, the sun here, the knight of swords, the nine of swords, the page of swords. Again, very much air energy here. We have wands, fire, earth, and water. All elements are here. So God is wanting you to make wise choices and decisions when it comes to this connection. The number 10, 20 is here, could be significant. So the wise choices and decisions that you make, God wants them to stem from pure intuition. Don't go by sight or flesh or desire or fantasy. Go by the free will of choice in making the right thing and doing the right thing and being wise about it, being clever. You know, don't put yourself in a compromising circumstance that will later on bite you in the ass and put you in a position to have to really take accountability for something that will, it's like maybe something that was never worth it. So God wants you to reevaluate whether this is worth it or not. Okay, all right, collective, all right, beloved. So ask yourself that: is this genuine? Is it genuine, right? With this masculine or feminine energy, and base your answer off of that, because that's the truth of the connection. And if you want to go by fantasy, then don't be surprised when you hit rock bottom with this person, or you get compromised in the end, right? So God is saying, be wise. Make sure something is genuine, it's elite, it's not low vibrational. Make sure you always tap into the high vibrational aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you are always doing things that are wise and making good choices for your own future, beloved. What you want for yourself should be based on the right thing, the truth, not fantasy or untruth, right? Or things that are temporary. We have the temperance, divine guidance. The temperance is significant to divine guidance. We're followed by the 7 of Wands. And the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So God is saying that don't allow the sexual energy of this connection to arouse you and cloud your judgment, you know, or fog your third eye, right? To be foggy and out of alignment, out of balance. God is saying you need to maintain balance within yourself. So don't allow yourself to be controlled by any sexual energy that comes with this connection, because then you are just lustful, and you are being a lustful being, right? In that moment, you are being lustful. You're being a lustful human being, lustful. So God is wanting you to be wise. So when you make certain decisions and choices, make sure that they're futuristic based. Will this help me? Will this align me? Will this fulfill my spirit in the way that I need? Not I want, not is temporary or fantasy or desire or long, short-lived, right? Make decisions that are long-lasting and are able to create longevity. Plant the right seeds and be wise. If you're going to entertain this masculine or feminine energy in that way, in a way that we've just tapped into when we read about their psyche and what they want for the connection, God is wanting you to be wise about that. Right? Is it worth it? Is it genuine? All those aspects must be sort of like confirmed first, right? Before you even make a decision about it, it must be based off of the truth. Because if you base it off of lies, you are building a connection based off a unsolid foundation that will later on crumble, as the lies always crumble. They come crumbling down. You know what I'm saying? It's like God is wanting me to give an example, a reference point, a case study, an analogy here. One moment, let's tap in. It would be that the example would be that, you know, the case study, the reference point, the analogy. It just went away. So maybe it'll come back, but let's tap in. So we have the Knight of Wands, clarifying the Temperance. Yeah, God is wanting you to, it's like, make sure that your foundation is based on the truth so that it's not short-lived, or so that you don't really fumble, you don't lose. Yeah, it came back. So imagine a spider taking all this time to build a spider web, right? This is an example, reference point, a case study, right? This spider builds a spider web, and a spider takes like a certain amount of time to do it, and they invest that in it. And how easy is it for another human being to just come and just, you know, and just tear it apart, and it's no more. All that hard work for nothing, right? So God is saying, don't be a spider. Don't do something and then for it to later on just be torn apart because it was never really solid to begin with. Like it had loopholes, it was weak, it was based on a weak foundation. Make sure that whatever you invest in is based on truth, realness, authenticity. You know what I'm saying? So when you give to something, make sure you're giving in truth, in trueness. You're not just doing something to fulfill ego. You know, because that gets you nowhere, God is saying, right? So we have the same energies coming out here. The High Priestess, the Sun, the Ten of Cups, Page of Cups, Ace of Cups, Seven of Swords, reversed, Eight of Cups, reversed, Ten of Cups, I think I said that, we have the Four of Pentacles. So it's basically here like, you know, with the Knight of Wands, the Sun, the High Priestess, like, God wants you to be fulfilled by truth, not by what you deem to be true, because it fits your comfort zone, or it boosts your ego, it makes you feel better, or it aligns with what you're most comfortable with, or it suits what you think. It's like, let it be what it is, not what you think it is. So if it's not that, pull your energy away from it, because it won't get you anywhere. So we're speaking about the situation with this masculine and feminine, right? This is basically advice from God. That's how God wanted me to conclude this message, right? And that will be all from me, Prophetic Vessel, from the Prophetic Vessel Show. Be wise, don't be dumb. 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 Okay? Alright? I love you guys. If you're keen or interested in booking me for a reading or a one-on-one session, I offer dream interpretations, spiritual path readings, love readings, and messages from God, right? God thyself, the big G-O-D. My one-on-one sessions are via Skype, Zoom call, FaceTime, as well as WhatsApp video call if you're keen or interested. Right, my email is listed on the screen. I'm sending you the utmost love. Mwah. Bye, beloved. Bye, collective.